Hello, I'm Ryan F9. This is my favorite budget adventure gear. Best cheap adventure lid is the Bell MX9 Adventure MIPS RSD, because short names are for wusses. What we have here is an update of an update of an update of a motocross helmet. First we had the $220 MX9 dirt bucket. Super light, super ventilated for off-roading. Then they added a shield with a tiny gap between the lens and shell so it could still accommodate goggles. They also angled down the sun peak for marginally better highway aerodynamics, leaving it on thumb screws because sensible people are still just gonna remove it for on-road use. They also truncated the chin bar and made this vent, and only this vent, closable. And that created marginally better sound and weatherproofing, et voila. We now have the MX9 Adventure for $270. Then they added the MIPS slip plane, and this added 30 grams and 20 bucks. It's huge for off-roading. See, the wilderness doesn't have too many walls to run into. Instead, you're gonna hit a rock or a tree branch or a ditch, something strange that'll put a weird oblique rotational force onto your head. When that happens, brain lags behind skull and concussions abound. MIPS mitigates the angular force before it reaches your head. At $290 and 1,680 grams, the Bell MX9 Adventure MIPS was still one of the lightest, cheapest options, and now one of the safest too. Then Roland Sands did a special edition. For an unusually small $10 more, you get this graphic, whatever, but more importantly, you get a spare visor, one of them tinted. The Bell MX9 Adventure MIPS RSD is several evolutionary steps ahead of the competition. You can still feel that original dirt helmet in here, so it's really perfect if you err on the aggressive trail riding side of the adventure world. Now, that dark visor is only really useful if you pair it with lighter goggles. Every time I go out on an adventure bike, I look like this. I've got my tinted visor for quieter daytime riding, but when it gets dark or when I head into the stuffy wilderness, boom, clear, fog-proof goggles. The model is called Thor Combat Sand Blast, because again, short names are for wusses. The sand part refers to the foam that covers the vents. It's unusually dense, so no particulate gets inside. Dust is the biggest problem in adventure riding. Big 1000cc bikes make so much of it that you're either the point man or you're Mad Max and Fury Road, in which case you'd better get sand goggles. These Thors are under 50 bucks, so the price is right. I like that the digital pattern matches the hard lines of my Roland Sands helmet. I also like that the frame size is small. The MX9 Adventure has one of the largest eye ports in the game, but even still, it can be a squeeze with larger goggles. So, this is the Fieldsheer Adventure jacket, and, well, it's kind of awkward, but it made me look bad. See, a couple years ago, we shot a video on the best adventure jackets, most of them fairly expensive, and it's all crap now. This $260 Fieldsheer is better than 75% of them. Best to take out my frustrations by pissing off some manufacturers. The Adventure Tour is better equipped than a $500 First Gear Kathmandu. My own $400 Icon Raiden is one of the comfiest ADV jackets, but this is comfier. And it feels more premium than an Alpine Stars Andes, for half the price. Whew, I feel better now. So, why is the Fieldsheer so good? Technicality. The outer layer, 600D Carbolex, a polyester weave that easily withstands bushwhacking. And some poor stitcher had to sew together 1 million panels of it. The intricately articulated fit is how this flak jacket manages to not feel like a flak jacket. The middle layer is a removable rain guard liner, and that's the usual waterproof, breathable stuff, yawn, except it's stretchy. I suspect much of the jacket's comfort comes from that. The inner layer, also removable, is X-Skin Air, and that's kind of like Thinsulate, only it's 4 times warmer and actually slimmer. This is a freaking toasty jacket. -5 in sleeting? No problem. The Overachiever even looks after your neck. Plus 30 is survivable too, thanks to the clever vents. They're double Velcroed. One layer to hold the flap shut, and then another layer to hold it wide open. Of all companies, why is Fieldsheer one of the few manufacturers to get this right. There are umpteen pockets, all of them very boring, except for one notably large cargo pouch. And that's where the liners go when you have them out. At 6'3" and 190 pounds, this medium fits me perfectly. It does come in a high-vis colorway, which adventurers appreciate, although even on this gray version, there's enough Fossilite taping to blind the sun. Fieldsheer used to offer a full CE suit of armor on this guy, but they got rid of the back protector at the same time they dropped the price below $300. At that price, nobody can match this quality. I mean, hell, even at $400 or $500, I'd still choose the Adventure Tour. The way Fieldsheer is set up for pricing in Canada, it's not even fair. Only thing I didn't like about the Fieldsheer is the style. And it's not ugly, it's just kind of derivative. So I picked a more standout pant in the Scorpion Birmingham. This is a spitting image of the Fjallraven Keb hiker, meaning it has that Scandinavian outdoorsman vibe, and that's very attractive. Or maybe it isn't. Who cares? This is a great choice either way. Everything from the knees down, and also the seat, is crash-worthy nylon. The rest is a slacker nylon cotton blend. And all of that is waxed, which is your primary waterproof weapon. There's also a backup backing of plastic, which is waterproof to the loving eyes of Scorpion, but to me, not so much. I've used this, and you'd better keep waxing the outer if you want to stay dry. Favorite thing about this pant is the liner. It's literally pajama bottoms sewn in here. It's very cozy for 3 seasons, and a little bit hot in the 4th. I wear 33, 34 in most jeans, and this size large fits slim and perfect. That's lucky too, because the knee and hip armor is not adjustable. The stuff is SaskTech CE level 2, by the way. Very safe, but cheaper, chunkier, and less comfortable than your benchmark D3O. At $230, I reserve the right to complain about that. No side access zipper on the Birmingham, but then again, they're not overpants, so you really shouldn't be taking them off in public. My glove is a REV'IT Striker 2, and it takes the simple approach to dual sport. Step 1, grab the top half from a dirt glove. Light, synthetic, ventilated, hard shields. Step 2, sew it to the bottom half of a street glove. Thick goatskin, memory foam on the instinctual falling zone, job done. It's an effective and easy solution. Only REV'IT decided to be annoying and write a 26-page booklet elaborating on every stitch. Of the 512 talking points in this document, 3 were interesting. First, the knuckle armor is C-Soft. That's impact padding with memory, and it will be a game changer. At first, it'll feel like you have a hockey puck on your knuckles. Painful pressure, painful rubbing, you'll hate it. But one day, it will mold to your shape and be next level comfy. Second, the Connect fingertips actually work. And plus, they force REV'IT to mold the ends of the fingers in leather, which is stronger. My gloves often rip at the fingertips first. Third, REV'IT's logo doubles as a shield for that pointy part of your wrist. Very clever. Between the fleece liner and the ventilated top hand, you've got an average temperature glove here. I wear a large in almost everything, yet this large I could barely get on. Size up. Just over $100, this is REV'IT's pickup line. They're an exotic Dutch beauty, and most of their gear is priced accordingly, but a smart company will underprice a few items to draw in new buyers. This is your cheap one-liner. Life hack: if you want a safe adventure boot on a budget, get a motocross boot. A lot of dentists and doctors ride ADV, while a lot of 15-year-olds ride dirt bikes. For this reason, a dedicated adventure boot is almost always overpriced. You'll get an identical product from the motocross world, only it'll be slightly safer and much cheaper. I've chosen the Shot X11 for a plucky $170. Full double-stitched synthetic leather, which is mostly waterproof until you go walking river crossings. Also, I count 4 buckles, the easiest way to spot a slim, well-articulated fit. Speaking of which, this design is sassy. Shielded from being knocked open, metal mounting plates, metal arrowhead pins, and circular spinners. Hello, Alpine Stars. The arrowheads prevent mud from caking up, the spinners allow some play for walkability, and all of that is stolen straight from the A-Star's Tech 5. Of course, you'll pay $350 for that boot, or $600 to get similar metal buckling from a dedicated Alpine Stars Adventure boot. On that note, I get a hard shield on the shin, but semi-rigid crush resistance everywhere else. That's a very typical ADV construction for achieving walking comfort. Speaking of which, this sole is a lot more relaxed than your typical MX shank. Now the X11 might be priced for motocross, but it looks perfect for adventure. And that's everything. I just ticked over $1,000 on this outfit, but I think it was worth it. Thanks for watching.